for this other double murder. Lena, thanks. We'll get back to you as soon as we get more information from the courthouse behind you. Let's get to another big story we're following here in the CNN newsroom. Round 2 of riveting testimony today from the young woman who was on the phone with Trayvon Martin only moments before he was shot dead by George Zimmerman. Her name, Rachel Jantel. She just left the stand a few minutes ago after several hours of testimony. The 19-year-old has made it clear in her own words and in her body language that she does not want to be on the stand. The exchanges between this young woman and defense attorney Don West have been contentious.
So the last thing you heard was some kind of noise, like something hitting somebody.
And Trayvon got hit. Trayvon got hit.
You don't know that, do you?
No, sir.
You don't know that Trayvon got hit.
He could have. He had
You don't know that Trayvon didn't, at that moment, take his fist and drive it into George Zimmerman's face. Do you?
No, sir.
All right, George Howell and Sonny Hostin, they're both outside the court in Sanford, Florida. George, let me start with you. This young woman, very soft-spoken, very reluctant to be there. That's obvious to anyone who's been watching her testimony. Give us the headlines of what happened over the past few hours today for those viewers who were not watching.
Well, certainly. Well, you have to first compare what we saw yesterday to what we're seeing today. Yesterday it was combative, even dismissive with certain questions. Today it is more subdued. And in fact, you do see those contentious exchanges between Ms. Jantel and Attorney Don West, but she always answers with a yes sir, no sir. She seems to hold to what she's been saying all along. It's come down to this, really. This new statement that she's made, this time here in this trial, where she's saying that she heard Trayvon Martin say, get off, indicating that somehow he was being attacked. And then the words before that, I could have heard or I could hear Trayvon Martin saying, get off, get off. You see that Don West is really going over that, one way after another, trying to figure out exactly what she said. And it's become somewhat of an exhaustive 3 hours of grilling. She's been on the stand for more than 3 hours. Today was on the stand over an hour yesterday. How much longer this will continue is really anybody's guess.
Yeah, it's not over with yet, her testimony, even though they're on a lunch break right now. Sonny, you were in the courtroom. You were watching the jurors. Give us your assessment how they were reacting to her as a credible or perhaps not so credible witness.
Yeah, from my read, Wolf, and I was pretty close to the jury in the jury room, they were leaning forward, they were listening to every single word she was saying, they were taking notes, they certainly were engaged. I understand that one of the jurors asked yesterday for Ms. Jantel to repeat herself. Not so today. They seem to now have gotten used to her cadence, gotten used to the way that she speaks, and I don't think they're having any trouble understanding her. What has been interesting, though, is that she has been very consistent. Although the defense, of course, is cross-examining her, she's been very consistent, Wolf, in saying that what she heard was George Zimmerman following Trayvon Martin, pursuing Trayvon Martin, and approaching Trayvon Martin. Now, why is that important? That is crucial for the state, because the defense here is one of self-defense. However, if you are the first aggressor, if you pursue, if you start a confrontation, you cannot avail yourself really of self-defense. It almost takes self-defense off the table, and that is why she is being cross-examined so harshly on the witness stand, and that is why her testimony is so important. But by my view, this jury seems to get her, and the longer she stays on the witness stand, Wolf, I think the more sympathetic she becomes, and I think the more